Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Tough Stuff. So hopefully this video is going up on Wednesday because yeah, it's been a week, let me tell you. But hopefully this will get up on Wednesday. So I have a very special guest whose video I promise you will go up before mine. And the special guest for this week is Christy Harriman. She is on YouTube as Christy's Beautiful Life. Christy and I share a very kind of special relationship. We're very good friends, but we also both have the privilege and the challenge of being autism moms. So when I decided I was going to do this, I decided I wanted to do one layout about my oldest son, Morgan, who has autism. And Christy said, well, I need to do a picture. I need to do some journaling and a picture about my son too. And I said, well, then let's just do them together. So my layout for today is going to be an 8.5 by 11 layout. And I have a bunch of different papers here from Studio 40. This is a click kit from March, I think. Pretty sure it's March's click kit. So the plan is that I'm going to do an 8.5 by 11 layout. I'm going to show you how to create some hidden journaling. So I have this. This is my journaling. I hand wrote it. And it is all in here about just my thoughts and feelings on having a child with autism, the challenges, things like that, the tough stuff. And so I also have this 3x4 photo of my son. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use, do an 8.5 by 11 layout. I'm going to use some of these pattern papers. I also have these epoxy flare from Scrap and Happy Studio, and I might use one or two. I'm not 100% sure. I want to try to use this one, the one that says I love someone with autism, as my title. And then I also have some, just not a ton of embellishments, a couple of tags, some clear stickers, and this kind of sticker sheet that almost looks like washi. And I think I'm going to use some of this washi for to do a tip out and show you my journaling, how I'm going to do that. So we're going to do some hidden journaling today. We're going to do, yeah, for today's tough stuff. So, but I just want to point out that these are layouts that, you know, when you're talking about documenting tough stuff, it's not always sad. It's not always, even necessarily bad things. Sometimes it's just that you need to add some good old-fashioned heartfelt journaling to your layouts, and that journaling is tough to write. It took me a long time. I know this doesn't even look like a lot of journaling, but it took me a long time to get all of my thoughts and feelings together and onto paper. The hardest part of this layout was definitely kind of figuring out the journaling and how I wanted to tackle that. So I'm going to go ahead and speed you up and we'll get started on this layout. Okay, so let's start with some background paper. I'm going to kind of flip through these different sheets. Now, I did another layout for this, with this collection using little strips, and I had a lot of leftovers. And so all these papers I had cut down them to 9 by 12. So now I just have to trim them up a little bit, and I'm going to grab... Sorry about that. Apparently I needed to kick my dogs out of my craft room. So anyway, I went ahead and cut down this sunburst paper. I'm going to use that as my background, and then I went ahead and I cut 2 strips of pattern paper. So each of these strips, the blue one is 4.5 by 8.5, and the yellow one is 4 3/4. So we have a nice base or a nice band across my layout, and I'm going to use that to house my journaling and my photo. I decided I wanted to mount my photo so that it would stand out against the dark blue since it is black and white. And now I'm going to turn on Downton Abbey, and I didn't realize my camera was going to actually be able to like show Downton Abbey, so FYI, we're going to watch Downton Abbey in high definition, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rewatching it all because I have every intention of going to see the movie on September 20th. And it's one of my very favorite shows of all time. So this would definitely be part of my top 10 movies that I can watch over and over again, except it's a whole show. So, okay, what I'm going to do here is I took the journal card that I want to use as the cover for my flip, and now I am just going to go ahead and get this down. So my plan is that I want to be able to hide my journaling. And this is a really great way to do it because it makes it so that the person that's just kind of flipping through your book wouldn't necessarily feel the need to take the album out and flip it up and see what it says. But, had to stop for pizza. Okay, so I have my journaling there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use these stickers. I'm going to use most of them, actually, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to butt those two 3x4 cards against each other so that the edges meet. I'm going to put the stickers, so this isn't washi tape. They're called sticker strips, and I think I like them better for things like this, the tip-ins, because they're a little more sturdier. They're stickers, so they're going to be a little stickier. They're meant to stick permanently. And for this type of application, they worked really, really well to make sure that my journaling stayed safe in its little flip up. So I'm going to go ahead and I used 2 of the sticker strips on the inside, and then I used 2 of the sticker strips on the outside. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of crease the stickers so they're really good and stuck. Really, really stuck. And then we'll be ready to continue on with our layout. So I'm going to flip this open. You'll see me flip it and open it and close it a couple times and really get those stickers so that my hinge is good and adhered and I'm not going to have things falling off. So the next thing I want to do is I want to pull these epoxy flares out. And I know right away, now that I can see it in person, that I'm definitely going to use these epoxy flares, and that I'm going to be able to use that one as my title. Another thing it's going to do is it's going to keep my flip up from wanting to flip up. It's going to keep it closed in my album. It gives it a little bit of heaviness there. And I'm going to work with these tags now. I decided I'm going to keep this embellishing very simple. I'm going to do 2 of these tags at the bottom and 2 at the top. I didn't really feel like I wanted to go digging through my stash for more stuff to put on this page. And I figured I had enough from this click kit that I could kind of make it work and keep the page simple in design to some extent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick through these tags, and then I have that little circle that says noted, and I know that I want to use both of those. I'm going to put 2 tags at the top and 2 at the bottom in varying sizes, just to keep everything cohesive and to give it a little bit. I mean, for me, this layout still turns out to be fairly kind of plain and linear, which is not a bad thing at all, just a little bit different than my normal type of layout, I think. Well, anyway, I think so. But it is a boy layout. It's masculine and it tells the story, and that's the important part. I really didn't do anything super techniquey on this layout. Sometimes I do, but sometimes nah. I'm going to use some twine. I'm going to put the black and white twine through the tags because I figured that would give the photo is black and white. And one of the flare badges, like those epoxy flares, have lots of black and white elements, and I just figured that would be a nice little thing to pull in with everything else going on in the layout. So I'm going to take this black and white twine, I'm going to tie 2 little bows, and then I'm going to layer 2 of the sticker strips, 2 of the tags, and that epoxy flare and the die cut. And so that's going to be my bottom cluster. And for the top, I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. So I wanted to pull in the epoxy flare has a lot of rainbow colors in it. And I wanted to make sure I pulled some of those colors throughout the layout so that it doesn't look odd, right? I don't want that epoxy flare to look weird on this page. I want it to be cohesive and kind of run through. On this side, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to take 2 tags. I'm going to put some twine through them. I'm going to put the tags upside down, and then I'm going to add that black and white epoxy flare to that layout. And that is going to complete this layout. So just as a recap, look at your stories. Sometimes stories are tough to write and get on paper, but they're important. And sometimes they're not sad stories necessarily. They're just stories that require you to really dig deep. And that's what this story was, to talk about, you know, how I feel about my son and how he has changed, and the fact that it wasn't easy. It was very, very challenging to get him to 18 years old. So that's going to complete this layout for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to head over and check out Christy's video and her layout as well. And I will see you all again very soon. Bye.